Hello and welcome back to another episode of White Album 2. We are currently playing through CODA. So, at the ending of the last part, Kazusa had just come home from a taxi after telling him how unwell she had felt, and now she's being barraged by reporters outside of her hotel. Let's see how this goes.
カズサさんですよね。少しだけお話伺いたいんですが。
すいません、疲れてますから。
ほんの2、3分でいいんです。お手間取らせません。
ですから疲れてるって。
それ毎日言ってるじゃないですか。いい加減少しくらい相手してくださいよ。
It's a shame that the day that that's really true, that she really feels unwell, now nobody believes it because she had used that as an excuse so many times. It's like the boy who cried wolf.
それじゃあ始めさせていただきます。よろしくお願いします。実はですね、今回はピアノとは切り口を変えて、トーマさんのファッションについてお聞きしたいんですよ。
は？
トーマさんの長くて綺麗な黒髪と溶け合うような黒を基調にしたシックな装いがですね、同年代の女性の間で話題になっていまして。
いや、何言ってんだあんた。
それで普段愛用しているブランドとかコーディネートのポイントとかお化粧のコツとか思いつくままに話してくれればいいので。
And of course, Kazusa cares about nothing related to fashion and makeup and this and that.
意味がわからない。何の取材なんだこれ。
ああ、それと後日正式に依頼に上がりますが、写真撮影の方もよろしくお願いしますね。来月号の表紙はトーマさんでいきますから。衣装の方は自分のお気に入りを持参していただいても、こちらでコーディネートする形でもどちらでも結構です。話の腰を折ってしまいすみません。
なあ。
はい、何でしょうか。本当もうざっくばらんでいきましょう。何でも聞いてください。
やっぱり今日は勘弁してくれ。本当に疲れてるんだ。
それじゃあ立ち話もなんですからホテルの喫茶室にでも移動しましょうか。ああ、それともお食事がまだでしたら何か食べられるお店の方がいいかしら。この近く何軒か案内できますよ。
Really pushing here.
ああ、お気になさらないでください。もちろん費用は編集部の方で持たせていただきます。さあ、それではこちらに。はい。
私に
触るな。
Oh boy. There it is.
何をなさるんですか、いきなり。
いや、
ごめん。いくらなんでもひどすぎますよ。痛っ、膝打っちゃった。やっていいことと悪いことがありますよ。いくらこちらの方が立場が弱いからってこんな。ちょっとトーマさん、
Like, yes, I get it. She ripped her arm away from her really quickly and it made her fall, and that's not nice. But at the same time, like, come on. There's only so much you should hassle a girl, and arguably, this really wasn't Kazusa's fault.
ちょっと逃げるなんて卑怯ですよ。待ってください。それとバッグ落としてます。
Well, there's a scoop for you.
なんでこんな目に遭わなくちゃならないんだよ。全部あいつのせいだ。
The moment I leave the Kazusa building, I notice the ground is wet. According to the weather forecast, it will either rain or snow tonight, but it seems like the weather itself is doing its best to contradict that. The raindrops that fall upon my face are painfully cold. This is sleet. People with umbrellas wear sullen expressions as they walk about the streets with a quickened pace. The sleet means they need the cover of umbrellas, unlike on regular snowy days, though they're still vulnerable to slipping on the snow underfoot. I stare absent-mindedly at this scenery for a while, but it seems that the sleet isn't going to weaken anytime soon, let alone subside completely. While I'm at it, I thought that going back to the 3rd floor to retrieve my foldable umbrella was too much trouble. If it's actively sleeting as hard as it looks in the video, then it's not too much trouble to go back and get your umbrella. Even so, trying to endure the current situation without doing anything isn't going to get me anywhere, so I had no choice but to sluggishly go back. If this were a usual Friday, I would have dashed to the station before I could even dawdle or hesitate about something like this. After all, if this were a usual Friday, I would have been much more motivated to return to my apartment. I'm so caught up in these pointless thoughts that I hurriedly pressed the answer button on my cell phone without even checking the caller. I believed it to be Setsuna.
もしもし。もしもし。
But almost as if ridiculing my enthusiasm. Rather than a laugh, all I can hear from the other side of the line is the sound of the city streets, just like the sound coming from my end of the line.
どなたですか?
After that, I finally checked the number on the display. The display shows it's a payphone, something I haven't seen on the caller screen in a few years.
もしもし。もしもし。刹那。
Oh, that was the wrong answer. You had a 50% chance of getting that right, sir, and that was not the correct answer. The reason I asked that name first was for safety. Come off it. Because, had I uttered the name of the person I most suspected and been wrong, there's no telling what would happen. Even as I'm receiving a silent call, overwhelmed with impatience and unease, I still find myself acting in a sly and cool-headed manner. Wow, that is a really nice way of saying that you're a terrible, awful liar. Which makes me dislike myself even more.
Kazusa か。
Haruki。
何やってんだよお前。もう会うこともないって言ったのお前だろ。どうしてかけてくるんだよ。
My voice is shaking terribly, but not from the cold.
近づかないんじゃなかったのかよ。昔のお前を知ってる俺にはもう。
近づいてないだろう。ただ電話しただけじゃないか。
同じことだろバカ。
バカって言うな。私のこと自分のものみたいに扱うな。
何しにかけてきたんだよカズさん。お前俺をこんなに悩ませて楽しいか。
And she knows the reason it's torment, and you know the reason it's torment, and it's, jeez, Crow, you should have, if you were honest to goodness done with her, you would have hung up by now. No. No.
何も聞かずにいきなりそれかよ。優しさのかけらもないんだな、お前。
ああ、はいはい。悪かったな。で、なんだ？なるべく手短に頼むわ。
I never wanted to talk to her in this way. Even if I'm to tell her these things, I wanted to do it in a very different way.
手短にまとめると、たった一言で済むな。消えちまえ、このバカ。
Yep, that's exactly why she called.
バカって言うなよ。俺のこと、そういう風に扱うな。
Hey, what's the matter, Kazusa? Or is there something you want to talk about?
最低だよ、お前。もういい。
そっか。じゃあな。
But right now, Now that I've promised Setsuna that I'd be waiting for her.
邪魔したな。もう会わないだけじゃなく、二度と電話もしない。今度こそ永遠にさよならだ。じゃあ
今どこにいるんだよ。
Oh, that follow-up question. It would have been over if you didn't ask that follow-up question. Yet, why am I afraid of crossing the line at the very end? No, what I'm doing is crossing the line.
わからない。ここどこだ？
俺にはお前が何を言ってんだかわからないよ。
And Kazusa too continues to speak, even though she just proclaimed that this would be our final goodbye. Why is she answering me immediately, as if she's anticipating me to respond to her?
とりあえず電話ボックスの中。ここは寒くなくて助かる。
外なんだな。近くか？
お前がどこにいるかわからないのに答えられると思うか？
海王者御宿だよ。
It's not like there's anything wrong with this. Oh, I could think of a few things that are wrong with this, Haruki. I'm simply answering her in a professional way. I'm only helping her out a little.
奇遇だな。私も御宿だ。
多分ってだからそれどういう。
最初はホテルの前だったんだ。でもそこからどこをどのくらい歩いたのか記憶になくて。
それで
The way I'm speaking so calmly right now proves that.
どうすれば戻れるんだろうな。
そんなのタクシー拾えばいいだろう。そんな当たり前のこと聞くためにわざわざ俺に電話してきたのか。
Though I suppose rather than calm, I'm being far too cold. I don't think I'd be able to act like this towards someone I didn't have an interest in. Oh man. Because sometimes you need to mentally put that distance between you and the other person. And he's trying, but he's just not crossing that final line like he said.
本当にな。たった一つこの番号だけ覚えてるなんて、私って何なんだろう。
Yet this idiot is mixing strange hints into the conversation.
母さんの番号も事務所の番号も実家だってメモリの中にしかないってのに。
おい、それどういう意味だ？
She can call my number, which she knows by heart, but she can't call the other numbers that are saved in her phone's memory. And her call is from a telephone booth. Wow, genius, you're really just now thinking about this?
携帯電池切れたのか？
携帯か。それも一緒に。一緒にどうした？
Something's wrong. Something's happened to Kazusa.
どうしたんだろう。タクシー降りた時は確かに持ってたのに。
I immediately feel a chill go down my spine. The terrifying omen causes my knees to tremble.
お前もしかして携帯落としたのか？
Normally, this wouldn't be that big of a deal.
ポシェットの中にまとめて入れてあったんだ。私普段そういうの全然持ち歩かないから。来日前にしびれを切らして。
もしかして携帯だけじゃなくて全部。
そうだよ。私の服や小物なんて全部母さんか会社の人が買ってきたものだ。だって私買い物とか全然行かないし。
Which is why she couldn't answer the reporter's questions.
ちょっと待って、落ち着け。
I'm the one who's not calm.
だってさ、服になんか興味ないもん。何を着ればいいのかなんてわからない。それをあのファッション誌の記者、バカじゃないのか？
いいかカズさん、タクシー拾え。ホテルに戻ればなんとかなるだろう。
なんで私が逃げなくちゃ。私は何も悪いことしてないよ。
And Kazusa seems to have forgotten the reason she called me.
事情を話すのが面倒なら海洋車ビルって言え。俺今そこの下にいるから。それなら俺が。
寒いよ、春樹。けど眠れない。だから眠ったら死ぬぞとか言われても大丈夫だ。
She's just being like a scared child right now. She's literally acting like a child that lost her mom and is just terrified, talking to the police officer, just rambling on about things that don't make sense.
どこにいる？今どこにいるんだよお前。
だから自分でもわからないって言ってるだろ。お前は人の話を何も聞いちゃいないの。
しっかりしろカズさん。正常な判断力を取り戻せ。
それは無理だな。すっごく熱っぽい。こりゃ39度くらいあるかもな。
救急車を呼べ。日本では119だ。
バカかお前は。救急車をタクシー代わりに使うのよ。問題になってるって海洋グラフで見たぞ。
And now she's just delusional. She doesn't even think about the possibility that she could go to the hospital.
カズさん。
It's no use. She really has lost the ability to think straight. This isn't a situation I can run away from anymore. If I don't do something, she's helpless.
近くに何が見える？そこに何がある？
Yes, she's helpless. I have no choice but to do something.
だから電話ボックスの中だって。
目を凝らしてよく見ろ。何か特徴的な建物とか。
ヤックがある。目の前に。
御宿にいくつあると思ってんだよそれ。
Of all the unique landmarks Kazusa could detect in her barely conscious state, she had to pick a world-famous hamburger chain. And...
やば、綺麗。
the use of the 100 yen coin she paid with, whether she found it or if she had had it in her pocket, had just run its course. A telephone booth and a hamburger restaurant. I tried to narrow her location down with hints so vague they could be straight from an orienteering competition. But as we know, Haruki is never gonna give up.
見つけた。
She was right in front of the station. Actually, thinking about it with a cool head, telephone booths nowadays are so rare that finding one is the hard part. Well, I wouldn't necessarily agree with that. Pretty much every convenience store in Japan, as of the end of 2021, still has a telephone booth. The amount of people who have regular use of one are so few that even if someone were to sit in one and never leave, no one would care.
大丈夫か?
Not that there's any point in asking her that. After all, had this stubborn person been okay, she would never have relied on me. I think.
おい、カズサ!
遅い。
I was only 5 minutes away from here, but in the end, it took me almost 30 minutes to get here. Because I had no idea she'd be in such an easy-to-find place. Yeah, literally, if she was right in front of the station, just say, I'm right in front of the station. There are countless taxis right in front of her, and she could get on a train at any time. But more than anything, there is a map right over there.
とにかく立て。ここにいたら風邪ひくぞ。
Though I can't tell her that, in this situation, I couldn't say that even if it wasn't Kazusa.
もう遅い。肺炎手前だ。
ならなおさら急げ。ほら、捕まれ。
I grab her outreached hand and pull her up.
重い。
Don't say that to her, that's rude.
くたばれ。
Because Kazusa is barely exerting any strength, her entire body weight is resting on my arms. Anyone looking would think she's blacked out from drinking too much. No one could possibly know that this is the famous Toma Kazusa.
とにかく移動するぞ。少しだけ頑張れ。
Kazusa shows a vague sign of agreement, even though her entire body and voice are still unsteady. And then she slowly glues herself to my back.
お前な。
え？
今日はタクシー使うんだよ。だからそこまでくらい歩け。
She actually put her hands on my shoulders and tried to ride piggyback. Just like that night in Strasbourg.
ほら、しっかりしろ。
She's so hopeless. She is so helpless. After taking almost 10 minutes to get Kazusa to the taxi stand 50 meters away, I finally managed to get her inside the car. At this point, I might as well have just given her a piggyback ride.
どちらまで行きます？
ああ、
The hospital might be a good start. Once Kazusa makes it to her seat, she starts breathing heavily and averts her eyes toward the window, as if she's trying to avoid my gaze. Even though the window is already wet from the rain, her breath clouds it white, proving just how high her body temperature is.
南末継までお願いします。
That's why I couldn't ask her. The name of the hotel that is surely right around the corner. Oh no, that's not why you couldn't ask her. That's not why you couldn't have brought her to the hospital. Just like that night in Strasbourg, all you had to do was call for help from a professional doctor. But you take it upon yourself to play doctor with her every time.
届いてますか？よかった。
I show Kazusa a thumbs up, but she only nods apathetically.
中身は ええ、そうです。クレジットカードは2種類。
The person telling me that Kazusa's belongings are fine is the only employee in the Japanese branch of Tomayoko office. When I called Hamada-san about the number to their office, he pestered me with questions about whether I'm up for the exclusive coverage after all. Once I called the office, this woman, who seemed to be about to head home, answered.
携帯電話と、あと小銭入れと。
No other company than Tomayoko office would so easily trust a young man like me, claiming to be calling in Kazusa's name. I do think they should worry about security a little more, though. That's the thing, they're so relaxed, and I think that comes from having a boss like Tomayoko. She's so chill. In fact, I would argue she's a little bit chaotic. She likes to see how things play out. That's why she's always inviting Haruki unannounced.
現金はは ?1430 円。ええ、もともとそれくらいしか持ってなかったそうです。間違いありません。
Kazusa gives a thumbs up to let me know everything is in order. How careless can an alleged adult be?
ああ、はい。ちゃんと本人にも伝えておきます。ホテルに戻っていると思うので。
Don't lie, that's not the truth.
ああ、いや、大丈夫。こちらから連絡しておきます。明日か明後日にでもそちらに伺うと思います。はい。はい。それじゃあ、どうもありがとうございました。
よかったな、春樹。落とし物が見つかって。ところでさ、何か食べるものないか？お前があまりにも長電話するもんだから、いつの間にか腹が減ってきた。
So childish. So childish. I mean, it's adorable. In a situation where it weren't this weird love triangle, it would be super adorable. At this point, there are so many mistakes in what she's saying, I don't even know where to start correcting her.
そうだ。あれがいいな。あれにしてくれ。
あれってなんだよ。年寄りみたいな指示語の使い方するな。
ほら、あれだよ。ボンゴレ雑炊。まずいけど、お前が作れるものなんて、その程度だろ。
Now who's living in the past?
今なら俺、もう少し手の込んだもの作れるけど。
すぐできるからあれでいい。
いや、そんなに時間変わらないけど。
うじうじ言ってないで早く作れ、ボンゴレ雑炊。腹が減って死にそうだ。
さっきまでは寒くて死にそうだったくせに。
うるさいな。本当にお前はいちいち細かいことばかり。
わかった。わかったよ。じゃあ、20分待ってろ。
She asked if I had any food, but it's curious how she's so set on this specific dish. Regardless, since I'm not short on ingredients or unsure about my seasoning, I put the pot on the stove and light it up. More importantly, she's doing better than I expected. She's around 37.7 degrees Celsius, so it's not exactly high. But as of now, Kazusa's health comes first. Yeah, it's not like a dangerous fever or anything at that point, but maybe a little cold, yes. Cold is in, like, not a fever, but one step below. What am I saying? Before I know it, I've done it again. She said, "We'll never meet again. Go disappear, you idiot. It's goodbye forever this time." I swore that I would never get close to Kazusa for Setsuna's sake.
パジャマ出しておいたから。飯作ってる間に着替えとけ。洗面所はそっち。
女物だな、これ。
I mean, you do know that they're dating.
刹那のか。
ま
あって当然だろ。なんで言葉を濁そうとするんだよ。
あ、悪い。
別に、わかってるんだ。この部屋が刹那の場所だって。わかってるんだ。ちょっとだけ、借りるぞ。
And it all tumbles downhill from
脱
there.
いだ服はカゴの中に入れといてくれ。朝までに乾かしとく。
余計なお世話だ。
She knows, huh? I see. She knows. She knows that I purposefully gave her Setsuna's clothes. The true reason behind it, and why I was lost for words just now. She knows everything. And with that, I think we will pause for now. So, thank you so much for being here with me on this episode of CODA, and I'll be back with more content shortly. Until then, hope you take care. See you!